Welcome to another episode of Revenge of the 90s. I'm Steve. With me, as always, is Fabs. We are talking today about a very relevant movie from 1994, Street Fighter. It is from that golden age of video game adaptations where they desperately didn't want you to know that it was based on a video game and would do anything in their power to not make you aware of that. So, and it was just in that strange like era of like in this case bringing in a director who, Steven D'Souza, who, you know, is like an 80s action director, like just not equipped to make a video game adaptation by any stretch of the imagination. Now, he did, we'll get into it, but the making of this movie is far more compelling to me than like the movie itself, because the fact that there was even a coherent movie made is a pretty big accomplishment in itself. So I'm excited to jump in on this one ahead of the release of the reboot or remake or whatever you want to call it. I guess a reimagining, which is like diving diving super head in on the video game aspect. Like it's a full on video game movie, which is fun. So I'm excited. I'm actually like really pumped about it, despite like having zero vested interest in Street Fighter whatsoever. But it should be fun, dude.
The
it looks awesome.
Great.
Like if you're gonna get me to be interested in a video game adaptation, that's how you do it. That like gets me going. And same with the new Mortal Kombat, bringing Carl Urban in as Johnny Cage. Sold. 100% sold. Like, make him the main character. Done. I'm in. And just make it as gory as possible. Perfect. And then Street Fighter, just make it like as silly as you can. Cool. Yeah, that works. I'm glad that it's not animated. You know? Like, I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Dude,
Now, you loved
I know.
this Street Fighter growing up. Is that correct?
I did, because I was not allowed to play Mortal Kombat, like at all. So that was, so Street Fighter was definitely, and I get why. I mean, like when you compare the graphics and the violence of Mortal Kombat to Street Fighter, one is a hard R, the other is definitely like in that PG-13 range. Tekken is kind of like split the difference, which is always a fun one as well.
Oh, Tekken Fighter?
Arcade. But Tekken Fighter,
man, I forgot about that.
I know, but so I was like totally. My dad was all about Street Fighter. We would play it together.
Would he whoop your ass
anytime we saw it at an arcade?
Or he let you win?
For a bit, I got really good at a couple of games. I got really good at Street Fighter. I got super good. There was this. It was like it was in Cedar Point. My dad has told the story a bunch of times where it was Mike Tyson boxing, but it was where you'd put your hands, it looked like joysticks, but they were mini boxing gloves. And so you would like move them around and you could move the boxer this way. And I played for 2 to 3 hours just taking out adults. And they just like lined, it was like the movie The Wizard, where they had that like kid who's like great at video games. That was like my one shining moment where I had never played the game before. And it was like I imagine like a classic symphony person discovering they are like a savant at 5 playing the piano. And that was like the only thing I was a savant at in my life.
You blacked out during the whole thing and like could never recreate it after that moment.
Oh yeah, my eyes rolled back and I kind of levitated and I was just speaking in tongues like the whole time.
Whooping on these adults. So you spent an entire day at Cedar Point playing that game?
I wasted like hours at Cedar Point playing that game. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
God, I mean, I don't even know if my parents even knew like what Mortal Kombat. I'm sure they did, because like remember that was like the age of like congressional hearings about Mortal Kombat. So I'm sure my parents were aware of what Mortal Kombat was, but I would play it at friends' houses and stuff all the time. I never played it at home just because like I never like I never had like a ton of video games growing up. I had like Sega, and I had like a couple games with it, but like I was more of like the kid that would like play it at like sleepovers, play tons of games at sleepovers and stuff. And so like that's where I played all that stuff. And yeah, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, you know, then all like the N64 games and stuff. But and I had an N64 and after Sega, but I stopped at like a PS2. So that tells you how that was like where I like topped out. Like I still I like playing them. I just like that was my last like system I ever bought. But now I have a no. I mean, no, that's a lie because I switched to now. Yeah, no, it's a total lie.
Okay. See,
I love it. Dude,
Switch is great.
Absolutely love it.
Great family.
It's got me
sit
back
down
into
time.
It. Like it's got me back into the like joy of playing video games again. So, which I assume Mortal Kombat has got to be on that sucker. Well, no, because it's a Nintendo. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
no idea. But Mortal Kombat now is like
I don't know. I've never.
It's like a world that I don't understand. Game. Like it's like 600 characters and crazy. Yeah. Like you can be the Terminator now and RoboCop and do all sorts of crazy stuff to people. So
yes.
I don't even know if I'd like know what the hell to do. I'm more of like a simplistic game guy. Like that's why I like Street Fighter because it was like an arcade cabinet game where it was just like button mashing. I'm a big fan of like games like that. The more complicated it is, I'm out. Yes. I can't do it.
I got to imagine Mortal Kombat has some attorney who's the best copyright attorney in the world, and he's just like, no one wants to face off against him. He's like, we're gonna fucking add Mickey Mouse and Goofy to Mortal Kombat. Let them come for me, and they're just like, okay, whatever. It's Disney's just like, yeah, that's fine. Like have Goofy just like rip the tits off of this character. And
I love, I love the notion that Mortal Kombat has been doing all of this illegally for years. Is that they've like, let's add the fucking Joker. Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I didn't actually have I was similar to you though. Like I would only play at friends' houses until the N64. Yeah. And then that was my first like console we had. And yeah, I also kind of stopped at the PlayStation 2 until about 10 to 12 years ago. I like got back into MLB The Show has always like been one of my favorite games. So I got the PlayStation 4 and then I got a PS5 and I literally got it solely for the new Grand Theft Auto because that's the one like super complicated game I'll play. Other than that, I'm just like, give me college football.
Did you get the
basketball,
new
give me baseball,
did you get the new NCAA
or
football
FIFA?
Game? Oh, dude, I
did. Oh yeah, I just won a national title as University of Troy.
Love it, absolutely.
Head coach, and I got an offer from Miami. And I love what's great about it is like you'll win like back-to-back national championships at a small school, and then you still won't even get like a head coaching offer from like Alabama or Oklahoma. They'll be like, you want to be an offensive coordinator? And it's like, no, fuck you. I just beat you by 49 points in like the semifinal.
What made you choose Troy?
So insulting. I didn't originally pick them. So my go-to team back in like before they stopped making them, I love being UTEP, because Texas El Paso Miners, because they had this bizarre U-shaped stadium, and their mascot was cool, and it was like a bucking bronco, and so I picked them, and then it just like was not happening with the recruiting, and so I went to Troy, which was like a slight step up, enough that like I could get better recruits, and then now and I guess now in this year's they're going to allow you to like explore campus as if you play as a player.
So like as a Georgia recruit, you can drive your car through the quad. Yeah,
exactly. Yes, I can just I can convince a trainer to like get in the front seat and crash the car and like have no consequences.
Yeah, on the recruiting trip, they force you to go. They go down a stretch of highway and they're like, you have to hit 130 on this car, or we're not bringing you here.
Right, exactly. Yes.
That's
we
want to see what you're made of.
Scholarship. Sorry.
Yeah. I wonder if MLB The Show's on Switch. I don't know if that's a Nintendo. Well, I don't know if Nintendo would have.
I think it's a PlayStation exclusive. That's what they might have just opened it.
I don't know any of that stuff. I have no idea. There's the Pokemon games that I want to get on Switch, but I never look further Dude,
Oh, my
there's so
kids would
many
love
good ones.
those. Dude, it is available on Switch.
Dude.
It's available on Switch now.
I might get it. I
should get
know.
that.
I might
Malcolm
get
would
it.
love
I might have
that.
to get that and NCAA.
He can play. He can be.
He
Aaron
would
Judge
kick my
and
ass.
kick your
Absolutely.
ass.
Yeah. He's obsessed with the Yankees and telling me how much he loves the Yankees because he knows it gets a rise out of me. So, yeah, he would totally torch me. It is revolting.
That's revolting. That's worse than William being a Dodgers
Yeah,
fan.
I mean, William has an actual tie to the region. He lives there, so I'm like, that's a very valid fandom to have.
Yes.
Malcolm only does it because the reason he's a Yankees fan is because he first started watching baseball, I think, in the 2022 series where the Yankees beat them, and so he has always just assumed the Yankees never lose. And I'm like
Okay.
they haven't won the World Series since you've started being a fan. Like, why are you so tied to this?
Yeah.
But he's just doing it to piss
2009,
me
buddy.
off. So it's whatever.
My dad, I did that to my dad. We went to an Ohio State Illinois game when I was like 4, and I liked Illinois' uniforms better. And I'm like, I'm an Illinois fan. And he's like, no, you're not. And he's just like, and back then, there was no access
And also,
to
he should have
watch
let
Illinois
you
football
because
games.
it's like, go for
So,
it. You can be a fan of Illinois.
Yeah, go for it, buddy. You want to see Ron Zook be your coach?
Yeah, you'll know suffering on a scale that no human being could handle as a Illinois football fan.
Yeah, I would have had the one game when Juice Williams upset #1 Ohio State in the shoe
That's right.
12 years ago.
Yeah, the joke's on him. The joke's on Malcolm because I'm
That's
like,
it.
I'm just glad you like baseball. I couldn't care less what team you like. Like, I'll buy you a Yankees hat. I don't care. You want to go to a game?
Yeah,
Great.
you got him.
So yeah, he doesn't.
I mean, they do have a great history to
Yeah,
teach him
dude.
about,
Like,
which is
honestly,
cool.
if you had to pick a team, like I'm glad he picks them and he doesn't just like randomly select like the Mariners. It's like, that's cool. Like,
I mean, Boston
I
would
would
have
have hated
probably
Boston
been worse in my opinion.
100%. Honestly, like, I wouldn't fault anyone for being like, yeah, no, I like the Yankees. It's like, it's pure Americana baseball history. It's like, yeah. And Aaron Judge is like, yeah.
And their hats
Aaron
are
Judge
cool.
is on the team. He's like a MVP, great guy. I can't fault anyone for liking them.
Yeah.
So anyway,
They also get like the best collaborations of everything. Like they just had the really cool Spike Lee
dude,
New Era hats, and I'm just like, can I pay you $50 extra on top of the hat to just make
that's
me a
what pisses me
Guardians
off the
one,
most
please?
is that New Era drops constantly new designs that are awesome, like just kick-ass designs. And I've just stopped even looking at it because I'm like, if I click into whatever the drop is, it's Yankees, Dodgers, Phillies, Red Sox. And then like randomly it'll be like a White Sox hat or a Rockies hat. And
The White Sox, Detroit will get some, and then Cincinnati.
never
And
Cleveland.
I'm like,
or
what are
I'll
you
get
doing?
pissed and they'll do like just the C.
Never.
And I'm like, oh, this design would have been better with the flying G. So, ugh.
And this is a topic for our other podcast.
Oh, yes.
California Penal League. If you are not listening, it's very fun. So we got this pass for Disneyland. It was 3 days park hopper for $80.
Oh, wow.
A day. So like $240 for each of us. And so we've been kind of spacing it out over the course of the spring. So we're using our last one. We're taking Kelly to a Minnie's Mother's Day
love that.
breakfast on
Love it.
Saturday. So every time we go though, I see like 7 or 8 people rocking Chief Wahoo hats. And while highly offensive, it's a great
That's the
logo.
thing is like in the 90s, it was like you could find that logo everywhere. Like if you look at like,
It was
yes,
like
it was
a
like
super hip logo.
one of the best selling logos in baseball. And it's like, boy, I really wish it wasn't a deeply offensive mark because like it does work on like a hat. And it's just like a real bummer that it had to be.
Yes, I wish an Indian would have been just a mythical creature that they created, and like Chief Wahoo was like the head of this mythical creature. That would
The
have
thing
been
is,
awesome.
you probably could have kept it if you had something that was like, I'm not going to say arguably more tasteful because like I'm not going to be the authority to choose, but like the Blackhawks get away with it because they didn't make their mascot like beet red. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, in the name didn't help. I mean, his
yeah,
name is Steve
exactly,
Wahoo.
exactly.
Like something a
Yes.
bit more respectful would have probably gone a long way.
Like, yeah.
And they're just like, it's an all or nothing. It's like, we're either getting rid of it entirely, we're not changing his name, and he's gonna be super red. We're not changing anything. It's like, no, just like,
Oh yeah,
tone it
well, I
down.
mean, the one from
No.
the one from the
Okay,
40s
we'll be the Guardians.
and 50s is like even more
Oh
so.
my god.
And they were like, all right, well,
Yeah, I have a bobblehead of that one.
I used to have one of the red modern Chief Wahoo, but I don't display it. He's hidden away. So
It's like your secret Nazi memorabilia room. But it's just like Cleveland.
well, that's the thing
Indians,
is like I didn't. It's like, yeah, like, you know, when people display, like, they're like, hey, here's my Hitler knife, and it's like, but I like it only for the history. Like, like I didn't want to have to explain that.
Unless it was a knife that was used to kill Hitler.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't
would
want to
not
have to
abide
explain that to
Sorry.
anyone.
Yeah.
What that's.
See, I have the perfect memorabilia right here. I have it's a fake caricature poster of the Major League cast as characters in the movie, and they have their Indians uniforms on, but it's like obviously the movie, so it's like, you know, and I don't think any of them have Chief. Oh yeah, the manager is the Chief Wahoo, but like that's the only.
Well, like
since it's like a movie
I mean,
poster,
I have old
it's like okay.
cards that and stuff. Like I have like old cards that are like autographed, like Jose Ramirez's rookie card. I have his auto, and I'm like, I'm not getting rid of that. It's gonna be.
Oh, I have that one.
Yeah, it's
yes,
like,
I have
I
one
mean,
like that too. Yeah,
That was what they were. Like I'm not like running around screaming for them to bring it back. I'm just like, it's like, this is what it is. This is the history of it. So,
well, as an HR rep, when I talk about, we were just talking about the baseball today, and they're like, "Oh, who's your least favorite team?" I was like, "Oh, the Red Sox." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, when they beat the Indians in 2007, they were before the name change."
Exactly.
I have to like I'm not one of those fans that still just calls them that
Exactly.
to be like annoying.
And you're wearing your Keep the Chief shirt.
Right, yeah, as my face is painted like those.
Oh my
two
God.
guys
Yeah. I
who would
wonder if
always
those guys ever
protest.
regret that. Probably not.
I hope we find out they were like, it was like Mike DeWine
Right.
and like some other person.
Wouldn't be shocked. All right, so Street Fighter. Oh my God, the making of this is pretty nuts. So I'll give you the cliff notes a little bit. So Capcom, company that released Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2, which is what this movie's allegedly based on, wanted to make a movie and were pitching it to executives in Hollywood. And Steven D'Souza, who is the writer of Die Hard and Commando and did a whole bunch of TV action back in the day, had a ton of experience, got asked to pitch, but said he wanted to direct. And so he pitched it as not making he didn't want to make a martial arts movie, and he didn't want to make it silly. Like, he didn't want everybody to have like all these powers and all that stuff throughout the whole movie, because the Super Mario movie had come out a year earlier, and like that one was a disaster. But I love that movie. Yes, and so they went the complete opposite. We're like, we're going to try and ground this in as much realism as possible. And Capcom was all about that, loved it, and so that's why that connection was kind of made. But Capcom was like inserting itself into all sorts of decisions. Or it had to have sign off on everything, but inserting itself into like casting and all that. And they were adamant that they had to cast Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile, who's like, first of all, an all-American G.I. Joe type soldier. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is Belgian and by all accounts a putrid actor. But it just so happened to be the biggest action star at the time. So like for Capcom, they were like, yeah, that guy. And honestly, he's like I understand all the reasoning and the appeal and kind of the cult status even of this movie, and like his silly lines, like, and his delivery, like, make it what it is now. But like, he's like by far the worst part of this movie. He's so bad.
Oh,
He's
yes,
fucking
100%.
awful.
Yeah.
So, it's like everybody around him is like, yeah, I mean, they're not getting like the best material, and they were filming just like all these chunks, like, and stuff, but like everybody's making like pretty much making it work. And it's like, yeah, it feels a little low budget, but it's fun. And then like he gets on screen, you're like, oh my God, just get the fuck out of here. So he's like the absolute worst Guile you could have ever imagined. I was going to throw it to you. I know you mentioned Arnold, but I was thinking Brian Bosworth from Stone Cold. If you remember that, he was huge,
yes,
and he was like blonde. So like, I kind of would have. I mean, he's a total nobody.
Yeah, that's a good
kind
one.
of in the action world, but like, I would have been if you weren't gonna make the movie about Guile, like as the main character, I would have been like, hell yeah, man.
What
I was thinking
Dolph
him
Lundgren?
too. I was thinking him too. But the thing was, I figured you would want an American for Guile.
Yeah, I see. My head immediately went to Arnold because one, it's Arnold, and to reunite the director with so many Arnold things he had done with Running Man and Commando. So I immediately, because they already had Jean-Claude Van Damme in there, I was like, well, I guess it doesn't even matter like what his ethnicity is.
It's true.
So we can just like go straight to like.
It would have been fun to see Arnold.
But yeah, it probably would have made more sense. Like well, that's always the thing with these is like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. There's always so many different like your central villains, but it's always funny to see who they decide to make like the main character they're going to focus on.
Yeah, and in America, in the adaptations of Street Fighter, Guile is always like the main guy. It's not Ken Masters and it's not Ryu. So, which is
crazy. I would immediately always assume it's
I mean, I was always a Ryu Blanca type guy. Those are always the guys that I would choose. I don't think I ever was really Guile, which is funny for all of its like, patriotism and all that stuff. But
I was Bison in Vega. I love Vega's his Wolverine
dude and his cool
claw.
Yeah, his cool mask.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, it is cool that they let him let him keep his Wolverine claw in
prison. Yeah,
and he still gets to use it. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so not only did that all happen leading up to making it, Van Damme, as you might expect, commanded like a ton of the budget, and he was like coked out of his mind the entire movie, and was like not only coked up but a total diva, like would disappear for days. They had to like shoot all this stuff around him where like he like wouldn't come out of his room that he had rented, his hotel, because he had to like pump up his muscles, and it was like a disaster trying to like work around him. So they were always like shifting stuff around, right? Well, part of it is that they were supposed to give like martial arts training to the cast and like weapons training, and they didn't do any of that. So basically it was just like winging it at all times. And like, I guess, was it Ryu? The guy who played Ryu had a sword at one point, but it was like a real sword, and he had no training in it. And he was just like wielding an actual weapon in the filming.
He did good with it.
Dude, I know, right? And it's for all of the issues, and like the fact that they had to go like do reshoots because like the action sucked in the first go round. It like pieces together. I would say the last like 30 minutes of this is like pretty damn good. I thought like once they like divvy up the set pieces and say, okay, here are the matchups for like the last 45 minutes. It's like, here are the fights you're going to get. You're getting like 4 simultaneous fights, and it's all super fun. Like that's what you want. Like that's when you go like, oh, okay, yeah, this is Street Fighter, and not whatever the hell it was before.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was. See, what's funny is like I agree. Like that's definitely the best part of the movie. I actually thoroughly enjoy the first 40 minutes of the movie. That's laying down the foundation of like this world building where, General Bison has kidnapped all these aid workers, and he wants like billions of dollars for their like safe return. He's like throwing him in a pit. He's turning, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme's best friend into Blanca with like steroids and making him watch like videos of like horrible like acts. So he's like an animal, which is just like, you could have just like not had Blanca been in it, or he could have already just been like turned into a monster. Like he could have been or a monster that like lived in the jungle that was something that they all feared, that they had to like work together to fight. It's like a legendary creature. It could have been that. It really didn't have to. I think that was like by far the worst part of the movie is like what trying to create
like,
Blanca.
I weirdly love the like mid-90s attempt where it's still like it's hilarious to me that they still went with like a Lou Ferrigno Hulk situation where they were like, we'll have a regular guy go in there and then we'll have like a kind of buff guy come out and that's the monster and he's got like crazy ass hair and he's green. Like really.
Yes. And he wasn't even that strong.
No, he
like definitely
he was
stronger
like,
than me, but like not even like close to like
no, he was not
anything
menacing in the least. And he just looked like a caveman with like the way they did his like brow.
Yes.
Basically they just turned him into like a green caveman. And then he ran off.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like a useless character because Blanca was always like a freaking monster, man. He was a beast. Blanca was cool.
He was awesome. Yeah.
But I do like I love that they struggled with like, well, we got to have Blanca because everyone's going to want him, but like we have to make this as real a movie as possible. So like what if we just like mind controlled him? But then like for most of the movie that scientist switches the mind control stuff to be like happy videos, which why that was an option I don't even know that he could do that. But so Blanca's like, yeah, he's like kind of just like a dude.
Well, they very clearly are at the 49% threshold of his like evil transformation. Like that's when he switches it. So he's like 51% good and 49% like a monster.
Oh my God. And yeah, like it doesn't help that like Jean-Claude Van Damme couldn't sell that relationship at all. Like there's no, like he could never in a million years. I mean, he's cool as Guile when he's like whooping Bison's ass. And that's really, I guess, like what you're hoping for.
Yeah.
Where like you buy that he's like a martial arts expert. Cause like, you know, it's a martial arts video game. So seeing Jean-Claude Van Damme doing martial arts and kicking ass does lend a ton of credibility to the movie, even if he like is shit across the board in other ways.
I mean, I love that like he acts how the It's Always Sunny characters act sometimes, where he's like flexing his muscles like randomly. Like it's just the craziest shit, like the craziest decisions. And you know, yeah, he was in his trailer for 3 days to just get the pump up so he could get that like American flag tattoo, like super flex in the final fight against Bison.
Yeah, Bison played by Raul Julia in his last film. This was also, he was like battling stomach cancer at the time, and so his like family was there with him, and so like I guess he like was so gaunt at the beginning of filming that they like pushed all his stuff to the end so that he could like gain weight specifically to play Bison. So that was crazy. They were filming in Thailand. He's amazing.
He's amazing.
He's so
this,
good.
by the like you're talking about like everyone's doing like pretty good. He like legitimately, if this was a slightly higher caliber of movie, this would have been a legendary performance.
He like, because his kids loved the game, so he was like familiar with the game and he did it for them. But he clearly understood what the vibe of the whole thing was. That it was a gigantic cartoonish type of character in his video game to like be silly. And like that was the one sort of cartoonish choice that I'm really glad they made, was to let him just like go nuts and be as big a maniac as possible. And like then when he gets like electrocuted, but like then gets revived by his like computer system and like starts becoming like
Yes.
a electricity wielding super bison.
Like a super
It's
bison.
awesome. His death's kind of his death sort of
It's
sucked,
incredible
but
stuff.
like I thought that one was like it was a little underwhelming, but like no, it really is one of the better comic or I would say comic book or video game villain adaptations for sure. I'm excited to see what the next Bison will do because it's David. Oh God, how do I pronounce? I can't remember. David Malxian, which is always like a mouthful to say. But he was in Late Night with the Devil and lots of other stuff, and he plays like a very psychotic person very well. So,
Oh,
so he could be an
yeah,
interesting one.
Yeah, 50 Cent in it. Cody Rhodes
It's
is
so
Guile.
good though. Roman Reigns is in it.
Dude, this is.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is,
50
I didn't even
Cent
look at
is
the cast.
Balrog.
I'm just Jason Momoa is Blanca. Holy God, Eric Andre is
It's
in
gonna
this.
be sweet.
Kyle Mooney's in it. Okay, I am so
Yeah,
excited.
no,
for this.
I'm all in. After seeing the trailer, I'm pretty jacked up for that and Mortal Kombat actually. And okay, so let's see what else. So this was filming in Thailand, and they weren't able to include helicopters in like the final battle sequence because there was like a coup going on, like a military coup,
my
and
God.
so like that delayed stuff. And I guess Van Damme was having an affair with Kylie Minogue, who was cast in the movie as Cammy, and she was cast because D'Souza saw her on a magazine cover and said, "Okay, let's make her Cammy." So
well
Kylie
done,
Minogue's great.
Jean-Claude.
Let's see what else. Oh, what else was there? Basically, everybody's saying they had no clue what was going on. Oh, the movie. Okay, yeah. What's hilarious to me is that the movie originally had an R rating, and so D'Souza like cut it back and edited it all the way down to where they gave it a G, and then they had like Van Damme say a line where he said like 3 years of ROTC for this shit. And so saying shit brought it up to a PG-13, but this was like very close to being a G movie.
That would have been crazy.
I mean, catastrophic for this to be a G. But if you go back and look, I mean, there really isn't any. I mean, there's really no violence except for the blood. I guess when Van Damme fakes his death for some reason, when he gets fake shot in the stomach, that there's a little bit of blood there, but I am a little lost on what the whole point of that was, considering that he was just like the leader of like the AN, like he didn't have.
Okay, I finally understood that part of the movie. So they did the whole prison escape,
so that Ryu and Ken,
Ryu and Ken could then get in the good graces of Bison. So then they had like spies on the inside. So if they kill Guile, it's like, oh, these guys are clearly on our side.
Do they shoot him?
And
Do they shoot him?
I'm surprised or Guile's with not real bullets.
Okay, no, you're
because he wrestles the gun from his like friend guy who's like, don't shoot, and like it was like a planted gun. Because he like uses all the ammo on him, and then he has the blood packets.
Okay, yeah, I forgot in the week since I watched this that who is it? Is it Ken that shoots him? Maybe I can't remember. I get it now. It still is like whatever, but and then to lead into the next story, Ming Na Wen, it was Chun Li. She does say that she trained like really hard for this and was like very much a martial artist, and I guess punched somebody really hard. One of the actors, like, what does it say here? Underwent intense weight training. They were all big wussies, all the guys. And she says, I won't name names, but I got into one of these brother-sister banter relationships with one of the other actors. I remember one day I punched him so hard, he cried. Do you think it was Damien Chapa?
I think that's the only one it could be. Because that's the only character outside of Bison that's like a male that she fights. And yes, Damien Chapa I have a history with, and it was because I love this movie growing up, a thief mutual friend of Steve and I's, Brittany Tumpletter.
Naming names.
She's
that's true.
She's a thief. She's a con artist. But she did provide this great story and like experience for me, in that we were at a New Year's party hosted by our buddy Salmon, and she brings somebody, and I'm like, who is this? And she's like, oh, this is this movie I'm working on. This is the director's son. I'm like, oh, cool. Hey, nice to meet you. And he says his name, and I'm like, oh, his last name was Chapa. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting last name. He's like, oh yeah, my dad's Damien Chapa. I'm like, wait, like from Street Fighter? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. Well, let me know if you guys need anything. And because like I wanted to work on this, because I guess Damien is from like
he's from Dayton,
the Dayton area originally, and his big other movie was Blood Simple. And sorry, it should have been a red flag. I arrived to set, and I introduced myself, and he's like, I hear you're helping.
Or not Blood
with the
Simple,
movie.
Blood In, Blood Out.
Very
Blood
nice
In, Blood
guy.
Out was his other.
Thank you, Blood In, Blood Out. Okay, I mixed up.
So anyway, sorry. He meet him.
So I meet him, and he's like, hey, I hear like you went to film school. Do you want to like be the cinematographer for this movie? I'm like, I mean, do you need to see any of my work? He's like, you know what? Like, actually, why don't you just be the producer? I'm like, okay. Do you have a script? And I proceeded to spend 12 crazy days with him and a bunch of other people. None of us were paid. It was an ultra indie, as we call it. We were paid with food. We shot at this giant place near 161 that I can't imagine it's open. It was this big salsa dancing nightclub. He knew the owner somehow. And it was called the Robstown Gangster, Mafia Man Robstown Gangster. And it was about this guy moves back to Texas. The movie was taking place in Texas. We were filming in Columbus, Ohio. And, the bikers get involved. The white supremacists get involved. And I played a FBI agent who gets killed. I played a biker who got killed. And I played a white supremacist who got killed. So I died 3 times in this movie.
I came out once for
You came
extras.
out to one day on
Yeah.
a dance thing. It was as an extra. It was, he was a nice guy. It was a very wild and insane experience. Multiple times I went with his father to find actors who they wouldn't come to set because I guess there was some kind of like, he owed them money for some other thing not related to the movie. And we were in very dangerous situations, and the dad got very aggressive, and I think he wanted me to be like the muscle. And every person we went to like get to come to return to set was like literally a foot bigger than me. They were all like 6'8" dudes, 7' dudes who were like bouncers. And yeah, this was I'm still friends with the guy who like financed the movie, and nice guy. He asked me during it, is this how most movie sets are? I'm like, no, this is a pretty unorthodox movie set. He's like, do you think I'm gonna get my money back from this film? I'm like, you're definitely not. And he was very sad when I laid that.
But he appreciated your brutal honesty, and that's why you guys are still friends.
Yes. And then I bought the DVD, and it was completely blank. There was nothing on it.
Wait, so have you seen the movie?
Yeah. I have seen a trailer. I've reached out to him multiple times for a copy of the movie, and he keeps sending me the trailer, and he's like, here it is. I'm like, this is just a 3-minute trailer. We definitely shot like 50 minutes of a movie.
So,
and
there's a good chance this movie actually doesn't exist then.
Yeah. Or he just he then later made another movie with the same title that's like vaguely similar. So I think he maybe just reshot it. And one of the big things we were all looking forward to, there was going to be this FBI scene with Buster Douglas, the boxer, but we couldn't get his brother. We couldn't get him, so we got his brother, and his brother kept making Buster puns, as if anyone knew who Buster Douglas's brother looked like.
Right.
Very nice man, but just very weird.
Like, was he making the puns
And,
while you were filming,
you know-
or not? Like, not filming, he was just saying them.
No,
Okay.
he was saying it while we were filming, but it was as if like we told the audience Buster Douglas was supposed to be in this
Right.
part, but he isn't.
Yeah, it's like, why
So it
is this
doesn't
guy
make a whole lot of
talking about
sense.
Buster Douglas? Oh, that's crazy.
It was very strange. And then, you know, I stayed in contact. I mean, I still will ping him occasionally just to see what he's working on because it's very interesting. And, you know, he did give me some, like, I did get a chance to talk to him about, like, when he was a star because he had, like, a moment in the 90s. He was married to the woman from Species, like, and I was like, you know, like, what was that like being, and he's like, honestly, like, the noise is, like, so great, but the silence is, like, so crushing. And what he meant by that was, like, the excitement of, like, getting from the limo into the hotel is, like, everything that you could imagine it would be with the paparazzi, with fans. But the second you're, like, in your room, if you're not, like, if you don't have your shit together, that, like, silence, like, messes with you. And, like, because you're just, if you have, like, demons you're battling, and not necessarily that I think he did battle some in his, but he knew people who,
Sure.
like, definitely battled, like, severe demons. That's where those demons start to become very loud, and then they take over, and then that's where you get into situations where you will abuse drugs and alcohol to numb out, to silence, to just zone out until, you know, the next thing. So that was interesting that he was, like, vulnerable like that with me was cool. And then, you know, when I moved to LA, I got offered numerous outrageous, like, hey, come film this thing. And I'm like, I mean, is it paid? So, like, one time he did offer me to fly me to Rome
I remember that.
for a month. And it was paid. It was like $400. I'm like, hey, I have a full-time job. Like, I want to do this, but, like, I'm very nervous I'm going to get to the airport and there won't be a ticket for me.
And he was just like, yeah,
So
you're
I
probably
can't
right.
accept this. Yeah,
Like, he
it's-
didn't,
yeah,
he
I
didn't
don't
try
know
to, like,
if it'll
defend
get
it. He was just like,
declined or not, friend.
well.
Yeah, so, but yeah, that was, that was
Yeah,
my,
sure,
he was
yeah.
a very nice
Well, no,
guy.
what I
It's just
was-
like, when you get into the world of, like, these ultra, because his big thing was making these, like, unauthorized movies of, like, he did one of, like, Brando Unauthorized, where it's, like, a life story where he plays Brando, and it wasn't a, and I don't know how true this is. I've never asked anybody. I kind of want to know. But he's like, it's fine as long as you say unauthorized. You can say whatever you want about the person because it's an unauthorized biopic. Okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. Sounds good. So I don't know if that's true or not.
It sounds, that sounds convincing. I don't know if that holds up in a court of law, but him saying it, I think, but he's like he's a really good example of, like, somebody out there, like, hustling to make art. Because his output is crazy. He makes like 5 movies a year, 6 movies a year.
Yes. Yes. I don't know. I don't know how profitable they are,
but you have to respect that lifelong hustle that he has, and, like, he's out there doing it. So it's a really interesting, and, like, it's just an interesting story of, like, a guy who, it's like, okay, people might remember, like, Blood In, Blood Out. And then again, anybody who's ever seen Street Fighter, I would imagine a lot of people probably are like, well, whatever happened to Damien Chapa? And he's off and it's like, he's had this career. It's a not mainstream type career, but, like, what an interesting thing that it, like, brought him to Columbus, Ohio to make a movie with you in, like, 2011. Like, a crazy experience. Like,
I mean, I'm forever, Yeah, I'm forever grateful for the outrageous experience that this movie was. And like Blood In Blood Out is like a cult classic. Like people like
Mm-hmm.
love that movie, and he has tons of fans from that, which is like super cool. And had that movie come out closer to Sons of Anarchy coming out, I think he would have like continued his career and gotten like some kind
Mm-hmm.
of role on that show. Like I think it was just the timing was off by like 12 to 15 years where he could have like parlayed that into, because like when because I think he was like really wanted to make movies, and so like TV wasn't really, I don't think, that appealing to him. And so had all the success happened a little bit later, I think it could have parlayed into like, hopping around like some of the cast members from Sons of Anarchy, because it would have been like if he starts in Blood In Blood Out like 3 years before Sons of Anarchy, like he's probably going to be like one of the main characters on
Well,
Sons of Anarchy. Like for sure,
it's the
going to go
same.
after
It's the same
him.
way. Like every secondary character actor from The Sopranos has been in like 50 other mob movies because they're riding that
Yes.
notoriety from The Sopranos. So yeah, you're totally right. Like he could have, if it was timed differently, he could have parlayed that into like a prestige TV type of thing, or if he had gotten in with like, I don't know, somebody else, like, he could have made like other biker movies, the Bike Riders and other stuff like that, like
For sure.
gang type movies. But it's interesting. It's a very interesting path that he's taken.
Yes. Yes.
But
It
yeah,
is.
well, we should get him on the show to talk about this.
Absolutely. We should get him for Blood In Blood Out.
Okay. Do you think he'd come on?
Because that has like, yeah, I think he'd come off.
That'd be cool.
Come on. I might have to like grease his palms a little, but I'm not above doing that.
What you're gonna have to do is agree to like go to Thailand and film a movie with him for 6 months, and
Yes.
then he'll come on the show, and you're gonna do it.
Yes. Yeah, I'll definitely do it. Yes.
And like you're gonna be recording the show still from Thailand.
Yes, I'll be doing both podcasts. I'll be watching baseball games at like
That's right.
4 a.m. and just, FaceTiming
That's
my
right.
children before school, and it'll be great.
Being paid nothing. Oh
Yep.
God. Yeah. No. I will. I always like really respect in these types of, like, this is why I love the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's the same thing with Street Fighter, that like I really respect, like I respect like when they take a big swing, but I also still I love all the like, I love the practical set pieces. I love the world building that they try. I love that like they still try to stay true to the video game. I really love this era of video game movies where it's not like trying to satisfy like rabid fans only who just want like references to stuff. I love,
Yes.
and I mean, that being said, I think that's like what a lot of like this new Street Fighter would probably be, because it's like, if you go, if you watch the trailer on Reddit, all the comments are like, they listen to the fans, and it's like, dude, what people were like fucking clamoring, or no, that was for Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, who is like going that crazy about the first Mortal Kombat movie that they were like, they need to fix this.
Dude, the first one was so good. Everyone was like, holy shit, you can make a Mortal Kombat
Yes,
movie this
exactly.
good.
The only thing people had a problem with was that they like created that character for the movie, that main character guy, or Cole Young, I think his name was.
Right.
And I think he gets like relegated to the
Yeah.
back, like Walter in the Muppets in the second movie. But
Yes.
yeah, man, it's like, isn't that the movie where like Jax gets his arms like frozen and ripped off at like the first like 5 minutes or something like that? Like it's like this kick-ass like thing. It's good. It's really good. So I don't know. I like Street Fighter. It's like, I know it's gonna exist in that like so bad it's good realm, but like I really appreciate its earnest attempts at it's like quaint and like fun and dumb and like just kind of like a fun time, I guess.
Yes, I love. I don't know. I have a very big soft spot for like movies that have these sets that are like faux Soviet bloc, like Eastern European, USSR, like not real locations, like the movie Rollerball, where it's like this takes place in like a fake country, but it's definitely like
Oh, for
Eastern
sure.
Europe, like fall of the Soviet Union. The Bison's country is like on a map is located where like Russia is.
Shadaloo. Yeah.
Which is Shadaloo City. Like it's so awesome. Like I don't know. I think I think maybe I was, I worked for the Kremlin in a previous life because I remember one of my first bar experiences in LA. We went to this bar and the theme of the bar, it was a USSR themed bar. And it was the coolest place I've ever been. I don't even
Just
know.
like brutalist architecture.
It was so bizarre. It was crazy. Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, I think it's the set pieces in this movie are so cool. Bison's floating like computer thing, like everything looks so much better than it should for not even just like a 90s movie, but like a 90s video game movie. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and it like I like that they don't wear any like of the powers or like weird stuff. Like Vega, like it's like, why is he wearing a mask? Who cares? Why is Bison, like Bison starts talking about like his electro powered floating podium, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then when he's gets like revived by his computer system, even Blanca, it's ridiculous, but like I actually never like questioned it throughout the movie because Bison, again, this is the difference between like Raul Julia and Jean-Claude Van Damme. When Raul Julia is talking as Bison, saying he wants to create the perfect genetic soldier, and he's acting like a complete psychopath about it, I'm in. I buy it. I'm like, yeah, man, you should make Blanca and create the perfect genetic soldier to take over. Like, yes. And that's all you need, is you just need the people to be like in on it and into it. And that's like, I know people, again, I know people shit all over the Super Mario Brothers movies, but like, dude, those guys, they were in. Like, I always felt like they were they like didn't know what the hell they were making, but I always felt like Hoskins and Leguizamo were like pretty into being Mario and Luigi. I never got, so like, I don't know. I really have a soft spot for that. Like, that's all you need. Like, a movie can be as weird. The thing is, like, no matter what the subject of a movie is, no matter what it is, any audience will be on board if the people making it are on board too. Which sounds simple.
Yes. If they're trying and having fun and, like, going for it, it allows you to be risk takers because it feels consistent and authentic in a way where if you're just like, I hate this slop, it's like, no, we can tell because you seem so disinterested in it. And now I realize it is slop. Whereas before, because like every scene that Raul Julia is in, I'm like, dude, this is like electric. This guy's a crazy madman. This is hilarious. And then like every scene Jean-Claude Van Damme's in, I'm like, dude, like, I know you probably didn't want to be there that day, but you're probably getting paid pretty well. And if I don't have to think, that's where like Arnold is going to like go for everything. And that's why he would have been awesome in this, because Arnold would have given you 100%. He would have been like, done all this research. He's like, well, Guile is going to be this like, this super duper commander, and he's got to fight Bison and the tyranny. And you're like, holy shit. Like, you're right. Like, you might be Austrian, but like, you're the most patriotic GI Joe like I've ever met in my life. And like, and suddenly, like, that speech he gives at the end, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I care about this so much.
And for whatever reason with Arnold throughout his career, because he was always so bought in on every role, you never questioned it. Like when he's the dad in Jingle All the Way,
Yeah.
or when he's an American commando in, well, not only commando but in Predator. You know, it's like all those times
Yes.
where he plays like an American hero or just an American dad, and it's like clearly he's not American. You don't care because he's 100% in. He would have been. You are right. Like he would have been a very kick-ass guy in like the original like rated R spirit of like Street Fighter. He would have been pretty tight. But he would have been a good like
What if James Cameron directed it?
dude.
You make the movie. I put Michael Bay, but now I'm realizing this is like True Lies era. True
It's
Lies
only a
with
couple
Jason,
years
James
after Terminator
Cameron.
2.
You make it. Yeah, you make it like 30 minutes longer. You give me more about because like if you're gonna like okay, so like let's say it's Arnold. All the if you have to keep the Blanca thing, then you need Blanca's gonna be played by a bigger actor. So that means Blanca's gonna have to have like some opening scenes where like he gets kidnapped, where it's like they almost have Bison cornered. They're gonna you think you're gonna kill him. It was a trap. He feels guilty for Blanca being kidnapped. And then, so then that's like an emotional, like, oh my God, like, holy shit. You have a connection with Blanca as like a human. And so as he's transforming, it's like even more heartbreaking. Like, I think I think it's a movie where you're like, there's suddenly a run on like everyone's making the most outrageous video game movies ever.
Yeah. I could see that. I guess like, yeah, it would have been like still like just a tad before the time that it would have been perfect. I mean, in that scenario, yes, you're 100% right. But like in what was made, it's the same with, you know, some, well, not even superhero movies, but like some of them, but it's just like a decade early. Like they could have made, it would have been cool if they had made like live action Mario and live action Street Fighter in like 2005. I think that would have been like a sweet spot era. Cause that felt like just before the Marvelization of like IP where
yeah, that's like 3 years before Iron Man.
Where I think like you said, Michael Bay before Transformers could have made Street Fighter, and it would have been like mid 2000s, and it would have been crazy,
awesome.
But
it would have been 2 hours and
100%,
20 minutes
exactly,
long for some reason.
Or like, you know, I don't know. After King Kong, Peter Jackson was like, "I'm gonna make Mario," you know, like something like that. Like it was like those movies like. It was something about how it was stigmatized so early on, that genre, that it's taken a long time for it to come back and be like given any level of respect. But if like Arnold had made one and it would have been good, then yeah, like 100%, you would have had a run where people were like, oh no, these are cool. Like people can make whatever they want out of these. But like, okay, you had Mario, Street Fighter critics hated, even though it made a ton of money. And like Mortal Kombat, it was like, it's okay. It's not great. And then like they had the shitty sequel. And so like there was a lot of bad video game stuff in the 90s that it's taken like literally 30 years for it to be given any level of respect.
Resident Evil and like Silent Hill were the only ones because they were more horror narrative. And it's like we don't have to follow it that strictly, and you know it can still tell a cool story.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm trying to think. I mean, there really aren't. You know, obviously you have like the animated stuff, but like then like Sonic came out, and like those were fun.
Yeah, those
are really good, and they're really good.
Yeah, I like all the Sonic.
I'm looking forward, and I thought the Mortal Kombat remake was good, and I'm looking forward to the next ones. I'm sure I'm like missing some like huge like video game movie that I probably should know about, but I don't know. It felt like it took a while to get here.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else? You got anything else on Street Fighter?
Only other thing I have, so I'm a writer. If I came up with a line this good, I would have just closed my laptop, been done for a couple of days, and just basked in the glory that was me. So it's Bison talking to Chun-Li, and Chun-Li is just, you know, recanted this story about how he came to her village, how Bison came to her village when she was younger. Her father was able to like fend him and his troops off but then, her father sacrificed and was killed for the troops. And he's like, I don't remember that at all. For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was a Tuesday. Like, that's
And
the
it's
shit.
so-
Man. That's
it's
so,
so-
good.
Heartless to say that right to her face. Like that is like, that has so much like villain
Yes.
weight behind it. And he sells it so
It's great.
well
Yeah.
that you buy that he's just a total psychotic evil warlord. That's such a good, it's such a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, they juggle like 52 characters in this, which they do a pretty decent enough job of.
They do a good job. Like they,
It's fun. I dug it. Like, it's such a like fun little time capsule type movie from like the early 90s, and also like a really good like study into what at the time were like the action star battles going on, where like Stallone and Schwarzenegger were fighting for like the A tier type action scripts, and then you would get like the B and C tier movies, and then you would get like the F tier Chuck Norris type movies. Like, there was such a pecking order to the action hero like landscape. It's so fascinating to me to like see it, how it plays out.
Yes, it's
and this was
amazing.
like one of those, like, you could never afford, I think it was like a $30 million budget. It's like you could never afford Arnold Schwarzenegger in that realm.
right.
But so it's like, okay, who's next on the list, type of thing. And that's how you end up with.
You just don't want to get to Steven Seagal.
Yeah, right. You go
you
find
do.
more money to pay somebody else. Which,
Yes.
by the way, I think Damien Chapa, your guy, was in Under Siege. That was,
He was an Under Siege.
So-
Yes.
we could even talk to him about Steven Seagal. So we got to get him on Blood In, Blood Out.
I think he had told me that Jean-Claude Van Damme was like a total asshole.
Oh,
and he hated
that's
working
not a
with him.
surprise at all. That's like what everyone says.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if it was anything else.
Yeah.
Total. Actually, that's Damien
Yes.
Chapa, dude, has survived working with both Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme. That dude deserves a medal.
Yeah.
he deserves an award of some kind.
Yeah. It is crazy. It is. Yeah.
Like that, I couldn't imagine anything more disheartening about the Hollywood experience than dealing with those two guys.
Oh yeah, that would
but
crush my
Blood In,
spirit
Blood
for
Out,
sure.
he also worked with like a friggin' like buffet of talent. So he got
It's
he got a
loaded. Yeah.
good experience out of that, I hope. But I want to talk to him about it. So go film in Thailand, and when you get back, we'll get Damien Chapa on the
Perfect.
show.
I will.
And I think that does it for Street Fighter. Go. I don't even know when the new movie's coming out. Sometime this year. I think later this year, maybe, because Mortal Kombat is May. Okay. Yeah, I think it's like October or some shit. There, yes,
October
we do it.
16th.
So
Yep.
you got a little while to go see it. So hey, check out Street Fighter, the movie from '94, while you wait. That will do it for us. Rate, review, subscribe. I'm gonna try and get on the Substack again, dust that baby off, and give you some goodies there too. So we will catch you later.